Hello and welcome to another episode of Starside Chat. I am one of your hosts, Zach Owens, and joining me as always is Aaron Capo.
Hello.
And we skipped last week for the Thanksgiving holiday. So how was your Thanksgiving?
Pretty good. Had some turkey and I didn't have any mashed potatoes, but I had some hash brown casserole, which is also it's pretty good.
Yeah.
We don't cook for Thanksgiving. We always get it catered by Cracker Barrel.
Oh, really?
It's nice. They give you this huge box, this like giant like Foot Locker almost, with all your stuff in it. And they also give you a really nice booklet that tells you everything is at the same temperature, and it tells you when to put everything in so that everything comes out at the exact same time, which is nice.
Oh, that's cool.
But it was great. The only weird thing was they accidentally gave us two of one side instead of like two sides. So like we got cornbread dressing. We were supposed to get cornbread dressing and broccoli cheddar casserole thing, bake or whatever.
Yeah.
But one of those is CB for cornbread, and the other one is BC for broccoli cheddar. And I think the people putting them together messed it up.
Yeah.
And so we just got the cornbread. So we had a ton of cornbread dressing and no broccoli cheddar casserole thing. But that was fine. We made our own broccoli cheddar thing, and it was good. But how was yours? What dishes did you have?
We didn't have anything as special as that. It was pretty standard stuff. Actually, we a little bit went like for the turkey legs, a little bit more so than like the, big turkey that you get, which was actually kind of nice because the one, you get the skin, but also it's like darker meat, which I think I prefer. I'm not a huge turkey fan because it can be like pretty dry. But we also had ham, and ham is very good. But otherwise it was pretty standard Thanksgiving stuff. Although
pies? Did you have any pies?
We did actually. So the weird thing about that for my family is like some of us are on keto and some of us are not. And so we had to have like stuff for the keto people and stuff for the non-keto people. And so we had this, I think my mom had made like a keto friendly like apple pie.
Ooh.
That was fairly good. And then there was like a store-bought, I think, pie of some sort. It might have been an apple pie as well. Cool. Strangely enough, no pecan pie and no pumpkin pie, which is like Thanksgiving standards. But I don't know. I guess whoever was like buying the pie didn't care that much. But no, otherwise it was good. It was pretty standard stuff. They also make these like really good keto rolls that like maybe it's because I've been doing it so long that I don't know the difference between non-keto rolls and regular or keto rolls, but they're like very buttery and kind of cheesy. And they're like very good. So I had like
rolls are the best part, I gotta say.
Yeah,
I load up on rolls on Thanksgiving Day.
They're very good. So and then did you do any Black Friday shopping?
I follow that one crazy guy on YouTube. I don't know if we've ever talked about this. You know that Deals guy?
No.
He's insane, and I don't know if you should follow him. We initially started watching him because he was so crazy. But he gets himself all worked up on Black Friday, and he'll post like 5 videos, and he's like getting progressively sweatier in each video because he's like trying to show you all the deals. But a weird guy, but he, in one of his videos we were watching on Black Friday, he was like, hey, for $20, you can get a year of Sam's Club. And so we live right by a Sam's Club, but we never go to it because we don't have a membership. So we were like, that's a pretty good deal. I think Costco is like $60 a year or something like that.
Yeah.
So we got a $20 Sam's Club membership is the one Black Friday thing that I did.
Nice.
And it was pretty cool. We went there, checked it out. It's got some interesting stuff. We probably will. I don't know if it's going to save us money or not, but I did get some really, really good. I like the pre-made meals. They have really interesting pre-made meals at Costco and Sam's Club. It seems like. And I got some really good butter chicken, some like Indian butter chicken that we cooked up. And it was good for like 2 days. It like because they give you a bunch of it.
Yeah,
so
you buy in bulk in those places.
we ate half of it, and then we ate the next half the second day. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that Black Friday purchase. What about you? Did you do any tech buying?
No, I didn't. I have heard anecdotally that like physical stores are like, it seemed like there was not as many people out shopping this year. Like my sisters went and got a TV at Target, and they said they were pretty much there like right when the store opened, but they were like nobody there. It was really weird for them.
Yeah, I saw some videos of people juxtaposing like Black Friday like 2018 or something with this Black Friday, where like a bunch of people rushed in like 2018 or 2019. And then they opened the doors this year and like a guy walked in.
Yeah. I saw a video on YouTube as well of somebody just like walking around various places. Like I think he went to like a Best Buy and a Target and like a JC Penney. And there was just like, it looked like just a random Tuesday afternoon where just like a few people strolling around and not really, crazy shopping.
I mean, you can really do everything online now.
Yeah,
they really
have
incentivized Black Friday or what's it called, Cyber Monday.
I think, and maybe rightfully so, they're like, okay, in the past, Black Friday has gotten out of hand for both shoppers and for workers, where it gets like really crazy. And so they've like, over the years, they've strategized different ways to like scale down the amount of like shoppers that are actually going to physical stores, and like just to sort of reduce some of that craziness and stress and potential violence. And so they've like basically expanded out the sales online to last basically all month, and that has essentially reduced the number of incidents you hear about. But I don't know, it is a little bit of a shame to see it all go away too, because I can remember like fun times going out early on Black Friday and like getting some cool deals and things like that. But
here's another holiday question. Did you and your family play any games while you were together?
We did, actually. So one of the things I put down in our what we're playing watching was Vampire Survivors. So it's been sort of a resurgence of that game in my life the last couple of weeks, where so my brother he's played some of it on his phone because it's like on mobile now.
Oh yeah.
And he because he doesn't have a console or a PC for games, and so he's played a bunch of it on his phone. And I was like, well, hey, I have it on Switch, we can play co-op. And so we wanted to test that out, so I just dropped my Switch in the dock and we played some, and my sister at one point joined us as well, and so we were playing 3-player co-op on Vampire Survivors, which I had never done before. And so that was pretty interesting to see. And it got me like all three of us basically back in on that game. My sister had never played it before. And so she was playing it on her phone as well. And like over this last week, I saw her a couple times playing on her Switch as well, because you can see like when your friends come online. So I guess we sort of got everybody hooked on Vampire Survivors again.
That's great.
So yeah, it's still fun, I have to say. Still a lot of fun, that game, to go back in and play it. But what about you?
We actually, as a family, played Drawful, which was pretty fun. Drawful 2, I guess. Also on Switch. So I just like slotted in my Switch, and we all played on our phones and iPads. My parents both travel with their iPads for whatever reason. So they both like had an advantage, I feel like, because they had those like big screens. I was just playing on my phone. But it was fun. We played like, I think like 6 games in a row or something. Because once you start playing, you don't want to stop.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was that's a great family game. If you don't want to all be around a table, it's great if you just like are on couches and stuff. You don't want to like huddle around the same table, because also my dad was a little sick on Thanksgiving. He like developed a little bit of a cold, and so we were initially going to play just like cards, because my grandma loves to play cards, but she didn't want to like pass cards around and like maybe get everybody sick from my dad. So we were able to separate a little bit and just each be on our phones to play Drawful 2, which was nice.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've played that, but like I think last holidays, like last year, we played some of that on like I did what you did. I dropped my Switch in the dock and we just all connected with our phones and played, and it was really fun. So we should do that again once Christmas gets near. I'll have to try to remember that because it's very fun.
Zach, we're on the precipice of some pretty interesting things this coming week. Obviously, the Game Awards are on Thursday, and so next week's episode will be covering that. But we're on the precipice also of, not to skip around too much, but Rockstar revealed that GTA 6, the first trailer, is going to be on December 5th, 2 days before the Game Awards.
Yeah, so next week's show will be pretty packed with Game Awards and reaction to the GTA 6 trailer. This episode is going to come out like a couple days before that happens, so we can't cover it for this one. But
Keeley obviously wanted the reveal, but do you think, I saw some speculation online, because they've said like this is going to be the first trailer for GTA 6, and so I saw some people speculating that this is going to be a pretty like brief trailer, just like a kind of like a music video style one they've done in the past, and then at the Game Awards we'll get like gameplay trailer.
Ooh.
What do you think about that? Or do you think they're just completely like, sorry Keeley, this is entirely not your thing?
It is weird to position it like a couple days before.
Yeah, isn't it?
That is a strange move.
And he retweeted it also. Like Keeley was not, he was like, hey, check this out. Isn't this cool? So, I mean, he is not sad about it, it seems like. He's pushing people to look at it, so...
Yeah, I mean, I can see that trailer, whatever it ends up being at the Game Awards, regardless of whether it's different from the thing on the 5th. But yeah, it is weird to not just like debut it. Also, wasn't there, I saw a story about how they're not doing like the world premiere thing anymore?
Yes. They're moving away from that terminology. There still will be world premieres, but for some reason, he was like, I forget exactly what he said. There are going to be world premieres, but they're not going to have that like little pop-up that says world premiere anymore for whatever reason. I think I forget why. But it's not that they're not going to have world premieres. It's just they're not going to show it. They're not going to differentiate, rather. Because I think maybe it takes away from stuff that's not a world premiere is his reasoning. I don't know.
Yeah, I can see that. Also, just like from a viewer standpoint, it gets annoying after a while, especially if you have a lot of them. It's just like, oh yeah, we get it already. This is new.
Yeah, everything's a world premiere.
Yeah, you don't need to show this anymore. Especially, if like the vast majority of your trailers are world premieres, which like good job getting that, but also like after a while you can just stop saying this is a world premiere.
I'm so curious because so on TikTok I've seen twice a trailer that purports to be a leaked version of the GTA 6 trailer, but on both of those videos that I saw, in the comments, people were like, oh no, this is fake. This is like, I'm not going to believe this until Rockstar posts it. But the audio of the trailer seems legitimate because it's two people, it's a man and a woman talking about like, man, this is why I loved Vice City. I thought it was because of this, but it's actually because of this. So I don't know if that audio seems professionally produced, and I don't know if it's from something else. But and I also don't know if the video, like people have said like, oh, this is like from other games, but I don't recognize it. So I don't know if that is the trailer that I'm seeing or it's just like a very professionally made fake. But I'm so curious to see the song they use, and also just like I wonder if we'll get any weird actor reveals, because it's such a huge game. You got to imagine they'll have at least some big names in it.
Yeah, I imagine so. I like you, I'm anxious to see what that game is going to be like and who is going to be in it and all the different content.
What if it has a crazy person in it, and then we see it, it's great, and then the Game Awards happens, Keeley comes out and he's like, hey, welcome, this is my thing, how's it going? now like for our first reward, here's this person who is like a main character in GTA 6.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what if Keanu Reeves walks out on stage?
Wouldn't that be crazy?
Or
I am so curious.
A cyberpunk like reveal where they show like so and so's in this, and they got the likeness perfect, and then they walk out on stage again.
That would be awesome. I would love that.
It would be cool.
Here's hoping for that.
Yeah. Speaking of things that we're sort of getting our first look at, did you get a chance to see this Fallout TV show trailer for Amazon Prime?
I like the look of this. I was not expecting Ben from Lost to be in this. And he's a guy I think is really cool. I liked his character in Lost. He's not really in a lot of other stuff, I feel like. He has a very unique way of talking. But I liked that. I liked... I don't know. I liked the look of this. What did you think about this trailer?
They definitely got the look down. And I do like Kyle MacLachlan. And so
yes,
I like
Kyle MacLachlan's in it, which is crazy.
I like that he's in it. I have no idea what kind of character he's going to play, but...
it seems like some sort of father figure or overseer for the main character, because there's a scene where they're both like on a computer. There's also a scene where like he's behind some sort of door with a glass window, and they're both like looking at each other, like he's trapped somewhere, or maybe he's trapped her and he's leaving or something. So I don't know.
I'm scrolling through this Vanity Fair article that we have linked in our show notes, and that like one of the pictures they have is her looking at some sort of device and him just kind of standing there over her shoulder, and they're both smiling at whatever they're looking at.
Yeah.
So they do seem to be in the same vault for sure. My concern is, I mean, this is the same showrunners as Westworld.
Yes.
What are their names again? Jonathan Nolan and...
another person.
Yes. We all know her name. Lisa Joy. And like we saw what happened with Westworld. Like that was a fairly steep drop off after the first season.
So I was thinking about that when you said that, and I will say the last 2 or 3 seasons of that show were awful, but the first season of that show is like one of the best seasons of TV ever.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think it's got potential, but it could drop off is my concern.
I think the first season is something we can definitely get excited about. Season 2 might be something where we should come in with caution. I think you're right. I think it could steadily decline, but unfortunately, all shows need to last like 5 seasons, or like they need to continue indefinitely. So if they can do this one first compact story and end on a really good beat, I think this first season could be a real tight, interesting show. But unfortunately, they're probably going to leave it open to something other crazy stuff. But
the concern there is that they have really like planned out that first season really strongly, and then they're like, oh yeah, we should be doing more with this, and then they have to like figure something out after that, and so they don't. It's sort of that problem with the mystery box style format for your TV show, where you set up a lot of mysteries, but you don't necessarily have the answers figured out before you start. And so those a lot of times string people along, but they don't have satisfying conclusions. And so I'm concerned that maybe that's the style of show we're going to get, but it looks good.
Shout out to Zach Cherry, who I know from Severance, and he's been on some podcasts that I like. But he was in this trailer. I was not expecting him to pop up. Production design seems good. It doesn't seem cheap. Chris Parnell, for some reason, is a Cyclops in it, which is weird.
There is a concern also that like because it's like based on a video game and you have like very specific look for that game, that it could come off as like cheap production wise, and I don't think that is how this looks. I think they got it. They've done it well.
It's set in Los Angeles, and I don't know what. I think they have said that this is canon with the games. So whatever that means, it's not gonna take any liberties with the lore, apparently.
Well, speaking
But
of lore, we were talking before we started recording. We were confused as to how ghouls work because
yeah,
Walton Goggins, who's an actor I like, is in the show as a ghoul. And in the trailer, they show a part with him like pre-war, where
as the war is popping off.
Yeah, where he just looks like Walton Goggins, and so we were curious as to how much time is going to be spent pre-war. If maybe that's like a quick segment that sort of leads into the show, and then they get into the post nuclear wasteland type of thing, or if it's like you're seeing a lot of flashbacks and stuff like that.
It could be flashbacks. I think it's either going to be one of two things. It's going to be the first part of an episode is going to be pre-war, and then that's going to it'll end with the bombs going off, and then it'll a title card will pop up, and then we'll get into the episode. Or there's going to be a bunch of episodes, and then something crazy is going to happen at the end of an episode. This is a trope I feel like that always happens. Something crazy is going to happen, and you're like, man, what's going to happen next episode? And then the next episode is going to be entirely set in the past. And it's just going to be like, here's what happened before the war. And then it will end. And then the next episode will get the conclusion to whatever the cliffhanger was.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like they maybe did that in that HBO Last of Us show.
Yes.
So I can see them doing that in this as well. Especially if they are doing the mystery box thing, I feel like that's how they add context for characters, is they do a lot of flashback episodes, basically.
It seems like it's going to be a little bit of a road trip show. For some reason, the main character has to leave her Vault 33, which I don't know if there's any lore about Vault 33, but she's road tripping around. She's going to meet interesting characters. It looks like she goes to a couple different vaults as well, like the one where Chris Parnell is a Cyclops. I don't think that's her vault, but maybe it is. I don't know. But I am cautiously optimistic about this.
Yeah, I am excited to see how the first season goes, but I do have my reservations about it. But when did they say when this is?
April.
Okay. Well, we still got a little ways to wait, but
I want to say April 12th, but I might be wrong about that. I don't know. How does Amazon do it? Do you think they're just going to put them all out, or is it going to be weekly? I don't know how that works.
I think they've done weekly in the past. I'm going off of mainly how they handled The Expanse.
The Expanse.
Which was a weekly drop, as opposed to
I guess that is the same for The Boys as well. They do that weekly.
Oh, yeah.
And Invincible.
So my guess is they go weekly with it, but who's to say? Do you want to talk Apex or Fortnite? Because there's stuff to talk about with both of them.
Let's do Apex first. Both of us got our cross progression to pop this week. I got significantly less things, I think, than you did because I played on PC for a while, but I don't know if I unlocked a lot of stuff back at the very beginning of the game. I think I had one Gibraltar banner that I got, but I never spent any money the first time around, right when it launched. So I didn't have that much stuff. But you had a ton of stuff, it sounds like.
Yeah, I don't remember spending money on it, but I know I did play a fair amount on PC and at least a little bit on PlayStation as well. And so when the cross progression hit, I feel like I had a bunch of stuff that I didn't remember having. Because I had access to Caustic, who was either the first or second new character they added to the game. I know Mirage was in there somewhere.
Yeah, Mirage was someone you could unlock, but I think you're right. Caustic was the first new one.
Yeah, and I don't remember if that was one of those, since it's new, you get the first one for free. But I don't remember if that was the case or not. But somehow I had him unlocked, and then I had a bunch of in-game currency that was added as well. And several unlocks that I did remember. I was like, oh yeah, I had this on another profile. But so basically the way the cross progression works, I looked it up because I was curious. But they take the account with the highest account level, which for me was Xbox, because that's where I've been playing recently. Mm-hmm. And they just kind of automatically pick that one as okay, this is your main account now, and it's going to be all the unlocks and everything are going to be merged into that one, and that one will be the one that you play regardless of which platform you choose to play on. And if by chance you somehow have made it so that you have basically an equal level on two different platforms, they will pick the one that you played most recently on, and that'll be your profile. And then your stats from your primary profile is carried over, and I think they discard your stats from the other platforms.
Okay, that I guess makes sense.
Yeah, but like cosmetics and everything are all merged into one profile basically, except if it is like exclusive to that platform or if it's like a stat dependent cosmetic of some sort.
Right.
And then supposedly unopened Apex packs were all merged to one profile as well. I assumed that I would get some packs because I think if you like log in, maybe it's because I didn't log in on my PC profile, but I think if you log in during a new season, don't they like give you some packs for free?
I think so. Yeah, because I think I got some season? When what's it called? What's this season called? Not Uprising, because that's a thing coming up. Ignite. When Ignite started, I got an Apex pack.
Yeah, so I was expecting like at least one pack or two to show up randomly, and none of them did. So I don't know if they like pre-opened them or if I just didn't have any other packs available. But also supposedly currencies and like crafting material and legend tokens were all merged into one balance. I think that's how I ended up with enough in-game credits to unlock an additional character. So I feel like I have a good amount of characters unlocked now. Definitely not all of them. There's still a lot of characters to work towards unlocking, but I definitely have a lot more options now than I did before. I think the only weird one was if you play a lot on Switch, they have like whatever Apex coins you had on Switch can only be used on Switch, but like as you go forward, more like Apex coins that you get can be used on other platforms. So it's like a weird thing with the Switch where if you've earned them previously, you can only use them on that platform.
Interesting.
But yeah, so I've been playing a bunch of Apex Legends this last week and have made a lot of progress towards the Battle Pass. I basically have gone through all of the challenges from the different weeks and just have gone through. I find it faster to do the mix playlist because you get a lot of challenges that are like deal so much damage or get so many kills with a certain type of weapon or use a specific character so many times or to get so many kills with a certain character. And I find that stuff goes much faster in the mix playlist because you can basically be at the start of a match, be like, okay, I have a challenge for getting shotgun or pistol kills. So I'm going to pick this loadout that has a pistol in it. And then I'm going to run around and use that almost like a primary to try to get as many kills as I can. And so I've been able to knock out a bunch of challenges that way and level up my battle pass pretty quickly. But yeah, I've been having fun with it. I did get a win this last week in the BR mode as well, which wins in the BR mode definitely feel more elusive and more satisfying to get than the ones from the mix playlist. But I have found that if you get a win in the gun game, that's a fairly close rival to getting a win in the BR mode, just because I feel like it doesn't happen very often. But
I feel like I'm so awful at that mix playlist. I tend to avoid it, but maybe we should play together sometime and I should play more of it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where you really get your footing in terms of the gunplay, just because you get way more opportunity. And so like when you die, you don't just have to go back to the menu and load back in again. And so you really get a chance to try out the guns that you're using. And there are like long-term progression, I feel like, with some of the weapons. You know how, well, not some of them, all of them, but like you go into your cosmetics, I think, in the menu, and you have all the different weapons, and there's like a weapon level. And I think if you level it up a certain amount, you unlock like weapon challenges.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was looking at that the other day. We're new to Apex basically, so like longtime Apex players know all about this, but like it was new to me to realize, oh, there's like challenges beyond like the daily and weekly stuff. There's like long-term weapon-based challenges that you can unlock as you use the weapons, and I think you gain progress just for like carrying them, but also for like getting kills with them. And so I feel like some of that stuff is going to be much easier done in the mixed playlists.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we should definitely play some of that some more when we get a chance to.
I think we shall, because this Tuesday, in addition to being the Rockstar trailer for GTA 6, is also when the Uprising collection event starts. So that's going to be a whole thing. There's a new game mode where you are... I'm not exactly sure how this works, but I think you are dropped on one side of a map and you have to get to another side of the map to like get extracted. And there are a bunch of like evil revenants, and if an evil revenant kills you, you become an evil revenant, and then you have to go like after people. So I'm excited to check that out, but also I've never done a collection event before, which is apparently a thing that happens in Apex. But I love to play as Loba, and she's going to have a new mythic skin, and so I'm going to try to get that. However, I don't know the process for that, but yeah, I think it's going to be a cool week to play Apex, so I'm excited to dive in.
Yeah, I will definitely dive in with you, and we'll check out that new mode, and then we can talk about it on.
Now, speaking of new modes, Zach, did you at all check out this Fortnite Big Bang that happened yesterday as we're recording this?
No.
So it was the end of a season / chapter, and it's now the start of, I think, chapter 5 or 6, and it's season 1 of that. And so they had a big event where if you were logged in at a certain time, you could have this like thing happen to you where you basically watched a cinematic, but it was somewhat interactive. And they announced a bunch of stuff for the new season, including something that I think starts maybe today or tomorrow or Tuesday, which is a collaboration with Lego that is a survival multiplayer mode where, like, think Minecraft basically, but it's just a different game mode you can play. You can jump in, and I think there's like a day-night cycle, so there's like monsters that come out at nighttime, and you're just a little Lego guy, and you're building up little things, and other stuff is I'm not exactly sure. They haven't revealed too much about it, but also there's a racing game now in Fortnite that is in collaboration with Rocket League. There's Rocket Racing. That's just so Fortnite, you can just dive in now, and there's like 3 different there's also like a bunch of other stuff you can do with Fortnite because they have creative mode or whatever. But it's interesting, and I installed Fortnite onto my Xbox and linked my account. It still blows my mind like how high res I got that Doom guy skin when we were checking out Fortnite like last year or whatever.
Yeah.
And to look at it on my TV, it's crazy how it is just the Doom guy skin. In my memory, it was like kind of a cartoonized version of it, but it's not. It's just like fully HD 4K, the Doom guy from Doom Eternal, which is crazy to see do dances and stuff. But this is interesting, and I think I am going to take a look at that Lego collaboration because I'm interested to see like what sort of survival. I love Minecraft famously, and I have not played in a while. But I'm so curious to see what this is, because I like survival multiplayer stuff sometimes. Is any of this interesting to you?
I think it's really crazy that they just have this like Lego, like Minecraft like mode built into, and like a racing mode built into Fortnite. The game continues to be crazy to me. But I don't know. Maybe I should download this on Xbox and check it out. But I haven't played Fortnite. I basically the only time I ever play Fortnite is when I'm hanging out with my brother over the holidays, and we're like, we should play something.
Yeah.
And like the only thing that we both have like easy access to is Fortnite. And so like I think it was the last maybe 2 years in a row, like over New Year's, we would be playing it basically until the switchover happened to the new year, and you would like everybody would stop and you wouldn't be able to shoot each other, and you would hear like some stuff going on. It would be like, hey, it's the new year or whatever.
Oh, that's cool.
And then like 5 seconds after it ends, everybody goes back to shooting each other. But yeah.
I'm going to check this out. If you download it, let me know. I mean, we can hop on together. There's also supposedly a music element as well. I guess Eminem did a concert last night. But yeah, I hopped into a game after I installed it and linked my account. And another interesting thing about this, a thing they're adding to the Battle Royale is weapon attachments, which is something I really enjoy in Apex and in PUBG, is like getting a weapon and then kitting it out with like a different sight or like a suppressor or something. Mm-hmm. That just like I don't like crafting, but I like the like adding on of like creating a good weapon or whatever. And it seems like they're adding that to Fortnite, which is interesting to me. But yeah, I hopped into a match and killed a guy, and then I got killed. But I reset all of my controls to be Apex controls, which helped me play a little bit. Because like by default, I think switching weapons is like the shoulder pads, which I was not into. And so I switched it over to be more similar to Apex. But yeah, I will report back if I do check out this Lego thing.
Yeah, it's crazy to me how much they have added to Fortnite and how like crazy different some of the stuff ends up being. Like just to have like a Lego based mode and then a racing mode and then whatever this music like rhythm game is.
And they're adding Solid Snake to the game.
Man, not stuff I could have predicted.
Yeah. Something else I saw, I follow the guy, the like one developer team that made Haiku the Robot, which was a game I liked a couple of years ago. Definitely inspired heavily by Hollow Knight, and it had a great little style, and I enjoyed playing it. I beat it. But that guy on Twitter posted about a new game that he's making, which is interesting. There's a Steam store for it now. It's called Rusty's Retirement, and Rusty is a character, I think, from Haiku the Robot. But it's a game that just loads onto the bottom of your screen. So like if you're doing other stuff like on the internet or like doing your job or whatever, this is just always a lower third on your screen. And it's just a little idle game where you're like basically farming and like upgrading stuff, which is something I've not seen before.
That's crazy to me.
It's a little idle farming simulator that is just always on the bottom. So you can be like, you know, watching a YouTube video or like doing some work on the top of your screen and just kind of monitoring down, and little like robots are doing stuff. Your little Rusty is like a very cute little robot character who will walk around and do things, harvest things and whatnot. And then you can upgrade stuff so like he stops having to harvest and like little robots will harvest for you. But I thought this was cool. It doesn't have it's like Q1 2024 and there's no price, but I would assume it's going to be pretty cheap. But I added it to my wish list because the developer was like, hey, please add this to your wish list because it seems cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is just like sitting on the like bottom part of your screen and you can just keep doing other stuff and then just basically have this little game running all the time. I imagine people are going to have like ridiculously long hour counts on this just because they will just leave it running. Yeah, they just let it run all day.
The other thing I wanted to talk about, do you remember that Void Bastards game that we played for, or at least I played for a while?
I never played it, but I do remember it, yeah.
I had fun with it. I, for some reason, couldn't crack it. I couldn't get far in it for whatever reason. I played it a bunch. It's a roguelike, so like you sort of just start from zero every time. But I had a really good time with it because I loved the art style and I thought the weapons were really interesting. And they're making a sequel called Wild Bastards, which is more Wild West based. I think it's still a roguelike, but you are not on space stations anymore. Now you're on planets, and there's like maybe a card-based system, and there's some turn-based strategy elements as well.
Interesting.
But it looks interesting to me. Again, I love the art style. I love this like crazy cell shaded art style.
Yeah, it's hard to describe the art style. It's definitely like it looks kind of hand drawn animation, but maybe with some cell shading to it. It's
like kind of low frame rate, also in like a charming way, almost. But yeah, it's interesting. It's coming out in 2024. I don't really know if it will be good or not, but I thought since I have maybe like 20 hours in Void Bastards, even though I didn't really get super far in it. So I'll probably check this out.
Yeah, I'm looking at the trailer and they have like weird sort of overworld type of like map thing that you go around that almost looks sort of Slay the Spire like.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's very interesting to me.
But that's all the news. Should we get into what we've been playing / watching?
Sure, yeah. So I've already kind of talked about Apex Legends and Vampire Survivors, which is the two things I've been playing this over this last week, and I've been enjoying both of them. I probably will play more of them.
Did you guys watch any movies as a family during the holiday?
Over the holidays, I mean, we always watch like Christmas movies, so I feel like we watched some of those, and we did rewatch the latest Mission Impossible movie.
Oh yeah,
because that I think was available on streaming. So
available on streaming as of the Friday after recording this, or before we're recording this, is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Is it as bad as everybody says it is?
I didn't like it. I mean, it's fine.
Only bad
it was
things
fine.
about it.
I didn't hate it. I'll say that. Parts of it were interesting. They made him like a super sad guy in the beginning, which there's like a storyline, I guess, so he gets to be happy or whatever. But I don't know. It's a bummer. I feel like in a lot of these shows and movies where people come back, where the intervening years, like there's an iconic character who has all these great adventures, and then the movies end, and then there's going to be a reboot or another one, and the screenwriters are always like, well, let's make it so that he had a really rough time in between like the last movie and this, so he's like really like in a bad place.
This has exclusively happened with Lucasfilm movies.
It's a bummer because I want him to be having a good time.
The Last Jedi of Indiana Jones movies, where
exactly
they brought back like a beloved character, and whatever you might have imagined happened for that character post like the movies they became famous for. You were wrong, because they became an old, tired, sad old person that is not very likable anymore.
But at least it ended happily, which is, I guess, all I can really ask for. My other thing that I watched two other things. We were watching a bunch of movies. My Lucky Stars finally became available to stream. I accidentally watched this. So the Lucky Stars trilogy. Are you familiar with the Lucky Stars trilogy?
No.
It is super early Jackie Chan with that Sammo Hung guy. And it's their trilogy. And I thought My Lucky Stars was the first one, but I was wrong. It's the second one. But the first one, I forget, is maybe like Twinkle Lucky Stars, or like, I forget what, the naming scheme is insane. But we watched My Lucky Stars because it came available to rent on Google Play. Not a lot of Jackie Chan in this movie, unfortunately. I was expecting it to be, there was a movie I watched called Wheels on Meals, which I do highly recommend. It's a really great Jackie Chan movie with Sammo Hung, and they are like in France, and they run like a little food truck, and then they get embroiled in this stuff. It's very fun. This was more just like, it was weird. Like Jackie Chan is in the first part, and there's a really great action scene in the first part where there's like car stuff happening, and he's like jumping all over the place, and there's like an amusement park he's doing a bunch of stuff in. And then there's like an hour and a half of, well, like that ends, and like he gets into his like secret phone to talk to the government, and he's like, hey, I need my team or whatever. And then an hour and a half goes by where it's just Sammo Hung like building this team, and there's a bunch of like I guess you could call it comedy, but I was not laughing. Just a bunch of insane, weird, like very broad comedy happening. And then eventually they meet back up with Jackie Chan, and the last like 20 minutes is action again. And the last 20 minutes is great, and there's a lot of good action and stunts. But I was expecting more something along the lines of like Super Cop, like that trilogy. But this is like pre-Super Cop, I think. And so...
Yeah, this is like very early Jackie Chan, like mid-80s.
Extremely early.
Yeah.
And supposedly, because I've seen a couple of scenes from this, and I was like, man, this looks great. And those scenes are great. There's a great scene where the girl in it fights this other girl in this hallway, and that's really cool. And then there's also another scene. Any scene in that amusement park is shot really crazily and cool, but was not expecting there to be just an hour and a half of just like very broad comedy with no martial arts. So I don't know that I would recommend My Lucky Stars. Unfortunately, if you're going to watch something like that, I would say check out Wheels on Meals. For some reason, it's called Wheels on Meals instead of Meals on Wheels. But
not up to the standards of 90s Jackie Chan then?
Unfortunately, no. I still think the best Jackie Chan I've seen are those two first Armor of God movies that are confusingly titled, Operation Condor or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But a movie that I can recommend wholeheartedly is Suzume. Are you familiar with Suzume?
Yeah, you were talking about this, I think, the last time we recorded.
Yes, I did, yeah. It's on Crunchyroll, so you can just watch it on Crunchyroll, and it was great. I don't know that it's as... I don't think I liked it as much as Your Name, because I like a time travel plot element. But Suzume was great, and it was beautifully animated and wonderful music, although I do think the Your Name song is better. But it was great. It really makes you want to just like have a road trip in Japan. It is basically a road trip movie because they go like from the south all the way to the north, basically throughout the movie. There's kind of a running thing where she keeps looking at her phone and like doing like the Google Maps to see how far it would be to get back to her house, and it keeps getting longer and longer. But a great little movie. I think it hit all its marks, and I would watch it again. I would say the middle one, that Weathering with You movie, is a misstep. I did not enjoy that movie, his second outing. But Your Name and this one, Suzume, are both just like rock solid, and I would watch these over and over again. So if you have a Crunchyroll subscription, definitely check out Suzume.
I liked Your Name. I didn't watch Weathering with You because you sort of advised against it. But
I think you could skip that one. But
I would check
Suzume
this
you should
one out,
definitely
for sure.
check out. Yeah, I think it's going to be... I think you'll really like it. I think there's a lot of cool stuff in it. The animation is just beautiful all the time. There is, unfortunately, a little bit of CGI that I hate to look at, but they hide it well in a lot of times. And it's great.
Is it on Google Play, is my question.
That's a good question. I think Crunchyroll may have gotten exclusive rights to it for a while. Oh, you know what else I saw?
What?
I didn't put this in the show notes, but maybe we talked about this off pod. But did you know they're making a Nirvana the Band the Show movie?
Oh, I think you mentioned it to me. Yeah. I
saw a thing where they were talking about it. They're shooting a lot of it. It's a road movie, and apparently they're shooting a bunch of it in New Orleans. So I don't know when that's coming out or what, but I think that Matt Johnson has sort of like a blank check right now because everybody loved Blackberry, so he can just do whatever he wants.
He's like a known quantity now because of that Blackberry movie. So yeah, it makes sense that they would start making movies.
So get ready for that. I hope that leads to the second season of the show being more widely available, because you can still not really watch that anywhere, which is a bummer.
Yeah, I think I saw episodes of it somewhere, and I don't think I got to finish it, but I saw like some of it, maybe even on YouTube. I'm not sure.
It ends on a big cliffhanger is the thing, and I assume the movie's going to pick up right where it left off, but I guess I don't know. Because it ends with sort of them. The second season is interesting because there's like a through line of this thing happens early on in the season, and that affects the rest of the season. And that comes to a head at the very end when they like reveal everything, and then they sort of part ways at the end of the second season. So I don't really know what's going to happen in the movie, but it's some sort of road movie. For some reason, they have to go all around America to get a show at the Rivoli, I assume. But I'm looking forward to that whenever we get a trailer or any sort of news about that.
Yeah, I am also looking forward to that. I need to find a way to finish that second season, but yeah.
Hopefully it'll become available to rent or buy. I would love for these to get DVD releases with commentary, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we might be sort of past the time where releases like that happen.
A bummer.
It is a bummer. Do you have any parting wisdom for us this week?
I guess my parting wisdom is to take advantage of physical media because there's a bunch of stuff. I was like filling out my Amazon wish list for like my grandma was like, hey, put some stuff on your wish list for Christmas. And there's a lot of movies that I want to see. Like I've heard the Criterion collection of a bunch of these movies have like great. I want to get the Criterion collection of the Jackie Chan Super Cop trilogy because they have like the Jackie Chan stunt school or whatever. It's almost like a documentary or whatever on how he did all of his stuff. All of his movies end with those great montages of him like getting hurt and like stunts going wrong. But Criterion collection stuff I don't own a lot of, and I feel like I want to check that out. And also, that we didn't talk about this, but Sony did that thing where they were like, "Hey, sorry if you bought all these things on PlayStation, but we're getting rid of them now. So even if you paid for them, they don't belong to you anymore." Which is a bummer, and just I think encourages people to get physical media because it's cool to have and look at, and there's special features that you can take advantage of.
Yeah, I have over the last few years really gone a little bit more analog and have been buying a lot of more like physical media. There is just like something about owning the physical copy of it and being able to play it. I don't know if that makes me old, but I also feel like it's coming back around because I think there have been a lot of cases like that with that Sony thing you were talking about where it was the same with like when Stadia shut down. It was the same when, you've seen like the Nintendo 3DS and the Wii U eShops like go away. And there was like this big rush to like buy games, like the physical versions of the games, but also just to like download digital copies so that they had them. We're just seeing that like as great as and convenient as it is to have in a digital format, like there's not the permanence there that we maybe assumed there would be.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people are sort of going to like physical media for some of this stuff. And yeah, I've been a fan of Criterion Collection for a long time. And they do have like fairly frequent sales like on their website where they will do like these crazy Criterion sales, and you can go like pick up some Blu-ray copies of things. Like the Wes Anderson movies always end up there usually. And so I'll try to get the copies of those. But like a couple of years ago, they did this like nice big like box set of like all the Wong Kar-wai movies. And so I bought that. Ooh. And yeah, they've got like Jackie Chan movies on there. They got all kinds of like, if you like old classic movies or foreign films, they always have like a good selection of those. So
there's a great movie that I want to get the Criterion collection of. I didn't even know it was on Criterion, called Heroic Trio, which if you've never seen before is a great movie that Michelle Yeoh is in. And it's really crazy. It's a kung fu movie where I think she's a superhero, but there's also like a crazy biker who has superhero powers. Excellent action and just insane stuff happens in that movie. And that's one of the things I added to my wish list is I would love to get the Criterion and see if there's like crazy special features about it. Yeah,
and you had trouble with this, but another like resource for like finding physical media, especially if you like Asian movies, is that what is the name of it?
Yeah, that one that thought I was my credit card got stolen.
Play Asia is a good place to like pick up copies of like movies or video games from like Asian markets that in most cases will work in your players here in the US. And usually they will say, like if it's a game, they'll be like, you can pick up a copy of Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name. Even though there's like not physical copies in the West, you can get a physical copy from Play Asia. That's like an Asian copy. I think it's for like maybe Southeast Asian markets or something like that. But it will say, like, if you look at the website, it will tell you whether it is playable and has English and as like a subtitle or whatever. And in this case, it does, because I'm looking at it right now. So if you want a physical copy of that game, you can pick it up through Play Asia.
There you go.
Not a sponsor, but
Not yet.
Not yet. Maybe one day. But on that note, why don't you go ahead and follow us on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter at Starside Cafe, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.